Chosen ones, have you ever wondered why your presence seems to provoke such intense intrigue? Why does it feel like some people can't help but watch, question, or even investigate every step you take? This is no coincidence. There's something about you, your light, your purpose, your divine calling that pulls others in, whether they intend to uplift you or attempt to tear you down. Today, we delve into an incredible revelation that will leave you questioning how much power God has truly placed in your life. But before we reveal the secrets behind this astonishing story, let's take a moment to honor you, our amazing audience. If you've ever found strength or hope in these messages, comment 999 below as a declaration of your faith in God's perfect plan. And to those who've supported through Super Thanks, your generosity doesn't just inspire us, it empowers us to share this light with countless others. Your kindness is a true reflection of God's work in your heart, and we are deeply grateful. Now, imagine this. A private investigator is hired, tasked with uncovering every hidden flaw in your life. They're confident, maybe even eager to expose your so-called weaknesses. But as they dig deeper, what they find shocks them. A radiance they can't explain, a strength that defies logic, a purpose so profound it leaves them in awe. What could possibly cause someone trained to seek the negative to instead encounter the divine? Think about Joseph in Genesis 37. His brothers conspired to destroy him, selling him into slavery, only for God to use their actions to fulfill a greater purpose. What if, like Joseph, the very people trying to uncover or undermine you are being positioned by God to magnify your calling? What did this investigator find that left them so stunned? Stay tuned, because what comes next will reveal how even your opposition is being used as a divine tool to elevate you in ways you never imagined. God's chosen ones, the private investigator, was shocked by what they found out about you. Chosen ones, this is for you. When that private investigator took on the assignment, they thought it would be routine. They believed they were uncovering an ordinary story, some mundane secret that could be exploited. But what they discovered about you, chosen one, left them shaken to their core. They thought they were digging up dirt, but instead they uncovered something divine. Your spiritual power, your God-given light, wasn't something they could quantify or understand. It didn't just surprise them, it left them awestruck. How could one soul, your soul, carry so much strength, radiance, and purpose? Their mission was simple: expose your weaknesses, dissect your life, and report back. But the deeper they went, the more their purpose unraveled. What they thought would be an easy victory became an overwhelming realization. Have you ever considered why your life seems to confound those who try to tear you down? They didn't find skeletons in your closet. Instead, they uncovered truths so profound they couldn't comprehend them. Like someone standing too close to the sun, they were blinded by your brilliance. Your life, chosen one, isn't a collection of random events. It's a masterpiece, a divine design of resilience, wisdom, and unshakable authenticity. The energy they sought to undermine wasn't something fragile. It was a force greater than anything they'd ever encountered, a power rooted in God's purpose for you. Remember the words of Psalm 27:1. "The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear?" That light within you doesn't just illuminate, it overwhelms the darkness. It left them scrambling, unable to make sense of what they had stumbled upon. But let's take a step back. Have you wondered who might have sent them? It's likely someone close to you, someone who once walked beside you but couldn't handle the magnitude of your growth. Think of Joseph in Genesis 37. His brothers, consumed by jealousy, conspired to sell him into slavery because they couldn't bear the favor God had placed on his life. In your case, someone who envied your rise may have thought this investigation would bring you down. But like Joseph's story, what they intended for harm, God is using for good. Have you seen how God uses even the actions of those against you to elevate you further? Jealousy sharpens into resentment when confronted with a power that cannot be replicated. The people behind this search weren't looking for answers. They were looking for reasons, excuses to justify their insecurities. They wanted to find something, anything to tarnish your image. But how could they weaponize what they found when it was rooted in divine truth? Just as Daniel's enemies in Daniel 6 tried to trap him, only to see God's protection glorify him further, their efforts against you have only revealed your unshakable strength. Chosen one, consider this. Why do you think your presence challenges so many people? Why do some feel the need to dissect your life and uncover your secrets? It's because your light exposes their shadows. Jesus said in John 15:18-19, "If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first." Your very existence is a testament to the power of faith, and not everyone can handle that. But take heart, those who seek to undermine you are only affirming what you already know. You are chosen, set apart for a purpose that cannot be shaken. Think about the investigator for a moment. They thought they were chasing shadows, yet they stumbled upon something eternal, your connection to God. Like the spies sent to scout the promised land in Numbers 13, they came back not with proof of weakness, but overwhelmed by what they couldn't explain. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. That's how they feel in the presence of your strength. Their mission wasn't just doomed to fail, it was destined to reveal the truth of who you are. You are not just another person navigating this world. You are a reflection of God's glory, a living testimony to His work. Like the Apostle Paul declared in Romans 8:31, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" They can try to undermine you, but nothing they do can change the divine plan God has for your life. So, what will you do now, chosen one? Will you let their attempts to discredit you distract you, or will you stand firm in your identity? This isn't just a test of resilience, it's a reminder of the power you carry. Isaiah 54:17 tells us, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Your light, your truth is unyielding." Their mission has only confirmed what you've known all along. You are unstoppable because God's hand is upon you. Now is your time to rise. Let their failed attempts be your confirmation. Their disbelief in your strength only amplifies the undeniable truth. You are chosen, set apart, and unshakable. Your life isn't just a series of events, it's a divine testimony. Their search for flaws has only revealed your purpose. Stand tall, chosen. 1. Knowing that you carry the light of the Almighty within you. And remember, how can anyone fight against the sun? Chosen ones, listen closely. When they tried to speak, their words failed them. What they hoped would be a report filled with accusations turned out to be empty, devoid of anything they could use against you. Instead, they stood in awe, perhaps even regret. Why? Because your spiritual gifts, your unshakable essence, stood as undeniable evidence of the divine. Nothing they tried, no scheme, no hidden hand could diminish that truth. Have you ever wondered why your presence leaves others speechless? Your power doesn't just withstand criticism, it silences it, leaving even the loudest voices grappling with truths they were never ready to face. They came with questions, armed with doubts, searching for cracks in your life they could exploit. Hired by those who feared your light, they sifted through the moments of your vulnerability. But this wasn't a noble quest for justice or truth. No, it was envy cloaked in investigation, a desperate act by those who couldn't bear the weight of their own inadequacies when standing in the presence of your brilliance. What does it tell you, chosen one? That even in your quiet moments, your life inspires such scrutiny. And yet, their efforts backfired. The deeper they delved, the more their motives unraveled. Instead of finding your weaknesses, they were confronted by their own. Like those who accused Jesus in John 8:7, hoping to trap him with their questions, they were met with truths they couldn't deny. When Jesus said, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone," their accusations fell silent, and they walked away, unable to face their own guilt. Have you noticed how those who criticize you often end up exposing their own insecurities? Similarly, those who came after you found their narrative collapsing under the weight of their envy. Chosen one, can you see what happened here? Your life became a mirror, forcing them to confront truths about themselves they had long ignored. As they unraveled the threads of your existence, they stumbled upon something they couldn't explain. Evidence of gifts that defied their understanding. The pieces of your life didn't fall into chaos as they hoped. Instead, they fell into alignment, revealing the intricacy of God's design for you. What does it say about God's plan for your life that even your challenges become proof of His work? Think of Joseph in Genesis 50:20, who told his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Have you ever felt like the very obstacles meant to harm you became stepping stones to your growth? Just as Joseph's brothers tried to destroy him out of envy, those investigating you hoped to find something they could use to tear you down. But what they encountered wasn't weakness, it was strength. It was proof of a power rooted in something far beyond the physical world, beyond their comprehension. They wanted to expose flaws, but all they found were reasons to marvel. Your resilience in the face of adversity, your authenticity, your ability to rise above challenges that would break others, these aren't weaknesses. They're evidence of a divine power flowing through you. Just as Daniel's faith in the lion's den became a testament to God's greatness, your life stands as proof of the Almighty's hand upon you. Does this not remind you of how God's power is made perfect in your life, even when others doubt it? Chosen one, let this be a reminder of who you are. Their accusations hold no weight, because your essence speaks louder than their words ever could. Remember Isaiah 54:17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." How does it feel to know that their attempts to undermine you only affirm your calling? What they intended as a tool to discredit you has only become a testimony to your purpose. So now, reflect on this. What does this tell you about your light? Why do you think it draws so much attention, both good and bad? Could it be because it's impossible to ignore? Could it be because the presence of God in your life exposes what others are too afraid to confront within themselves? Their investigation wasn't about you, it was about them. Yet, in trying to diminish your light, they only amplified it. Your life is a reflection of God's power, and their attempts to unravel you have only revealed the depth of your strength. Like Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians 12:9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." What they thought were cracks in your armor turned out to be places where God's light shines through. Chosen one, stand firm in this truth. Your power is undeniable. Your gifts are beyond explanation. Your essence isn't just evidence of resilience, it's a testament to a divine plan that no one can undermine. Their words failed, their schemes collapsed, and their search left them empty-handed. But you are still standing, shining, and rising. Are you ready to embrace this truth and walk boldly in the purpose God has set before you? Chosen ones, let this sink in. The more they tried to expose you, the more they revealed their own inadequacies. Their efforts became a spotlight, not on your life, but on their own darkness. And then the irony struck. A revelation so profound it shook them to their core. As they sifted through the details, hoping to find cracks in your story, the trail they followed led them somewhere unexpected, back to those who had hired them. Imagine their shock when the shadows didn't point to you, but to the very ones orchestrating this campaign. Have you ever wondered why those who seek to undermine you seem so deeply entangled in their own chaos? It wasn't your life marred by deceit and darkness, it was theirs. The ones pulling the strings were steeped in schemes so malicious they couldn't even face their own truths. Just as it says in Proverbs 26:27, "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them." Their plans to harm you only unearthed their own guilt, revealing their true motives for all to see. Bound by their task, the investigator found themselves unraveling lies, betrayals, and schemes that had nothing to do with you. Instead, they uncovered a web of manipulation woven by the guilty hands pulling the strings. The very ones who sent them to dismantle your integrity were the ones with the most to hide. Chosen one, doesn't this remind you of how truth always finds a way to reveal itself? In Luke 12:2-3, Jesus warns, "There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known." What they sought to keep in the dark was brought into the light, not by you, but by their own actions. This is the pattern of those who fear your light, chosen one. They project their shadows onto you, hoping to deflect from their own failings. But as with the Pharisees who conspired against Jesus, their schemes only served to magnify his truth and purpose. Can you see how their actions mirror the same? The investigator, who thought their mission was about you, became a witness to the hypocrisy of those who feared what you represent. Have you noticed how often those who accuse the loudest have the most to hide? Their strategy was clear: shift the blame, distort the narrative, and distract from their own faults. But they underestimated the power of your authenticity, the unshakable truth of your life. Like Joseph's brothers in Genesis 50:20, their attempts to harm you only positioned you to stand stronger in your divine purpose. In the end, their plans crumbled under the weight of their own deceit. So, now, reflect on this. Chosen one. What does it say about the power of your life that it can withstand such scrutiny, even as the schemes of others fall apart under the same gaze? Their campaign wasn't a test of your character. It became a revelation of theirs. This is the undeniable truth of your existence. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Not because you fight back, but because the very light within you disarms the darkness. Are you ready to embrace the power of your truth? Let their failed attempts serve as a reminder that God's hand is upon you, guiding you, protecting you, and using even the schemes of others to reveal his purpose for your life. Their darkness can't touch your light, and in the end, it's their own shadows they'll be forced to face. Chosen ones, lean in and reflect. There are forces moving around you at all times, some sent with malicious intent to destroy, others appointed by God to shield and protect. Those who conspired against you underestimated one unchangeable truth. Your life is not theirs to dismantle. Their schemes, born from envy and fear, collided head-on with the unseen hand of divine intervention. Have you ever noticed how the very attempts to harm you often seem to pave the way for your vindication? This is no coincidence, for God works in paradoxes. What was meant to ruin you has been repurposed to reveal the darkness in them and the unshakable strength in you. The investigator they sent thought they were merely following orders, unaware that they were fulfilling a higher purpose. Can you imagine their surprise when their assignment unraveled into something far beyond their understanding? What they unearthed wasn't evidence of your flaws, but the intricate protections woven around you by God himself. Every layer of deceit they pulled back revealed not your shortcomings, but the shadowy deeds of those who sought your downfall. In their search for fault, they became witnesses to a truth so undeniable it left them in awe. You are divinely protected. The Word has already declared it. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. Psalm 91:4. This isn't just a poetic promise, it's a reality you've lived. Think back, chosen one. Have you not seen this protection in action in your own life? Even in moments when you felt vulnerable, when betrayal crept close, you were never truly alone. The forces meant to harm you were thwarted before they could even touch your essence. Every attack was turned into a shield, every plot into a revelation. Like Joseph, who rose from the pit to the palace, your setbacks are transformed into setups for God's glory. Their investigation was no accident, it was ordained. It became a stage where falsehoods unraveled and truth stood tall, unshaken. While they sought to dismantle your life, their efforts only magnified the reality that no scheme can succeed against one protected by divine will. How does it feel to know that even in chaos, God's sovereignty is unshaken? Their betrayal became your vindication, and in the midst of their plans, God revealed His ultimate power, turning their intentions upside down and using their actions to strengthen your standing. Chosen one, pause and reflect on this. You've been under watchful eyes, not just from earthly adversaries, but from the one who never sleeps nor slumbers. Psalm 121:4. While people around you may shift, falter, or even disappear, the hand of God over your life remains unyielding and unchanging. Have you considered how unshakable this protection truly is? Every attempt to derail your purpose has been thwarted by the eternal shield surrounding you. Those who sought to harm you failed, not because of their lack of planning, but because they didn't account for the hand of God encircling you. Like Daniel in the lion's den, Daniel 6. What should have destroyed you instead became a platform to showcase God's protection. Every betrayal, every whispered plot, every attempt to undermine you has been turned into a testimony. Romans 8:28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." So now, consider this. What will you do with this truth? How will you walk forward, knowing that no earthly scheme can touch the destiny God has placed on your life? Their plots have been thwarted. Their plans have been turned into your protection. You are not only chosen, you are shielded, upheld by the unbreakable promises of God. Walk boldly in this reality, chosen one, for you are covered under His wings, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can change that. Chosen ones, take this to heart. Their strategies crumbled because your destiny is not theirs to control. Every scheme they devised, every move they made to undermine you, collided with a truth they could not alter. You are walking a path ordained by God. Trust in His timing, even when the road feels unclear or the answers delayed. Have you ever wondered how even the detours in your life seem to lead you exactly where you're meant to be? Every step you've taken has been purposeful, even when you couldn't see it in the moment. God's plan is precise, weaving challenges and triumphs into an unshakable foundation that no enemy can destroy. Human protectors may falter, but the divine never does. The Word declares, "The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore." Psalm 121:7-8. This is not merely a comforting thought, it is your reality. Even in moments of doubt, when you've questioned why things felt so heavy or uncertain, you were held in His unbreakable grip. Do you see now how even in your lowest moments you were never abandoned? Let this truth settle deep within you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. You are not merely surviving the trials that come your way, you are rising through them. Each test, each betrayal has been turned into a platform for your growth, a stage for your resilience to shine. When betrayals arise, when the weight of the world feels overwhelming, remember this: your enemies are fighting battles they cannot win. Why? Because they're not fighting you alone. They are wrestling against the forces of heaven that surround you, against the God who has declared victory over your life. Every step they took deeper into your story revealed truths they weren't prepared to face. What began as a straightforward mission, digging into your history, finding weaknesses and reporting back, quickly unraveled into something much more profound. Can you imagine the unease settling into their spirits as they realized they were no longer just uncovering facts, but stumbling into the undeniable evidence of a higher purpose? The deeper they went, the clearer it became. Your life wasn't ordinary. It was aligned with a divine plan that defied their comprehension. Your actions, disciplined, authentic, and unyielding, spoke volumes. But it wasn't just your choices that unnerved them. It was the undeniable aura of protection surrounding you, the unexplainable resilience that marked your path. Every attempt they made to reduce your story to something ordinary was met with something extraordinary. How does it feel to know that even your existence carries a weight they can't explain? What they began to see wasn't merely a life, but a tapestry of divine orchestration. That realization weighed heavily on them, turning their mission into a conflict of conscience. The simplicity of their task dissolved. What started as a calculated investigation turned into a personal reckoning. Each discovery felt like crossing an invisible line, a boundary drawn by a power far greater than themselves. As it is written, "For the word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart." Hebrews chapter 4:12. With every step forward, guilt began to grow louder in their hearts. The whispers of doubt became an internal roar they couldn't silence. Have you ever considered how the purity of your purpose can stir such discomfort in those with impure motives? They realized their actions were not just an invasion of your privacy, but a betrayal of something sacred, something holy. What began with precision and certainty devolved into an act of hubris. Who were they to interrogate a life so clearly set apart? Who were they to challenge the divine hand shaping your path? Every piece of evidence they collected became a mirror reflecting their own inadequacies, a reminder of the manipulation and malice at the root of their mission. Meanwhile, your existence, unshaken, radiant, and filled with purpose, stood as a testament to truth and integrity. As the scripture reminds us, no weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me, declares the Lord. Isaiah 54:17. Too late, they realized the gravity of their error. Their investigation wasn't merely an affront to you, it was an affront to the forces protecting you. Have you noticed how those who conspire against you often find themselves overwhelmed by the very truth they tried to deny? Their motives, steeped in envy and fear, crumbled against the immovable presence of the divine. The same hands that sought to tear you down now bear the weight of their own guilt. Chosen one, take comfort in this. You are not walking this path alone. Every step, every trial, every betrayal has been overseen by the one who holds all things together. Trust that even when their schemes rise against you, God's hand will turn them into stepping stones for your purpose. Let their failed attempts remind you of this unshakable truth. You are set apart, shielded by His presence, and destined for a purpose they cannot comprehend. Chosen ones, hear this truth. What they thought was control over your life turned into submission to something far greater. They believed they were tracking you, dissecting your every move, but instead they were unraveling their own flaws. Have you ever noticed how those who seek to judge you often end up judging themselves? They weren't prepared for the gravity of what they uncovered. Your life wasn't bound by the mundane details they hoped to exploit. Instead, it revealed a thread, an unbreakable connection linking every challenge, triumph, and decision, a thread they could neither sever nor understand. It wasn't just your actions they encountered. It was the undeniable presence of a higher power guiding every step of your journey. How could they, so ordinary and flawed, dare to intrude on a life so clearly marked by divine favor? The turmoil inside them began to grow with every discovery. Each piece of your story felt less like evidence and more like transgression, as if they were stepping onto holy ground uninvited. Their assignment, once a task of confidence, became a burden, a heavy reminder of their unworthiness to disrupt what God Himself had ordained. Can you imagine the weight they must have felt, realizing they were not just investigating you, but trespassing on something sacred? Every document they touched, every moment of your life they reviewed, seemed to echo with a meaning far beyond their comprehension. The very act of pursuing you became an act of defiance against the hand of God that protected you. Their guilt wasn't just personal, it was spiritual. Deep down they began to sense they were part of something deeply misguided, and their role became suffocating. By the end, they were no longer investigators. They had become reluctant witnesses, haunted by the realization that they had meddled with forces far greater than themselves. Your life, chosen one, defied the limits of their understanding. What they thought would be a straightforward dissection of your humanity turned into a revelation of your divinity. Do you see how even those who come against you become witnesses to the power of God working through you? Each challenge you overcame wasn't just another survival story, it was a testament to the higher force that has been guiding you all along. Psalm 37:23 reminds us, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in Him." Your ability to navigate storms, to rise above trials that would break others, left them awestruck. Their own smallness became painfully evident as they stood before the vastness of your gifts. The strength that carried you through life's trials was incomprehensible to them, a power they couldn't reduce to logic or reason. How does it feel to know that your resilience isn't just a personal triumph, but a living testament to God's unwavering presence in your life? Their intent, once sharp with judgment, dulled in the face of overwhelming evidence of your authenticity, strength, and divine favor. Each victory, each moment of perseverance, stood as undeniable proof of a power they couldn't challenge. And then came the realization that hollowed them out. Their task wasn't just futile, it was wrong. To pry into your life was to trespass on something untouchable, something sacred. With every step they took, the weight of their own biases, pettiness, and ignorance grew heavier. Can you see how their own actions became a mirror, reflecting their inadequacies and making them confront their limitations? By the end, they stood hollowed and humbled. What they once approached as a cold investigation had turned into an encounter with the divine. You weren't just a case file. You were a living testament to grace, strength, and God's unshakable favor. Romans 8:30 reminds us, "And those He predestined He also called. Those He called He also justified. Those He justified He also glorified." Your life is evidence of that calling, proof that no earthly force can undermine what has been divinely ordained. Chosen one, reflect on this. The forces sent against you couldn't harm you because they weren't fighting you alone. Every attempt to unravel your life became a revelation of God's presence. Every effort to diminish you only magnified the power of your purpose. Their guilt and failure are a testament to the truth of Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Your life isn't just a story, it's a living testament to divine grace, orchestrated by the one who holds all things together. So now, walk forward with confidence. The same power that left them humbled continues to guide and protect you. Let their failed attempts remind you of this. You are untouchable, not because of your strength alone, but because of the strength of the one who goes before you. Their mission may have started with intent to harm, but it ended as undeniable proof of your calling. Chosen one, do you see how even the plans of your enemies become tools for your elevation? Stand firm in this truth. You are chosen, protected, and destined for greatness beyond their understanding. Chosen ones, let this truth resonate deeply. Their assignment wasn't just a failure, it became a mirror reflecting their own inadequacies back at them. They didn't leave their task triumphant. They left humbled, their arrogance replaced with shame. Do you see now how even those who conspire against you often walk away transformed, not by your resistance, but by the power of your truth? You, unbothered and unwavering, stood tall as living proof that no human scheme can touch what God has divinely protected. And they walked away forever altered, humbled by what they had no right to question. Every piece of evidence they thought would condemn you only dragged them deeper into a truth they couldn't ignore. What began as skepticism, fueled by the arrogance of their assignment, began to crumble with every revelation. Your life didn't fit their framework. It wasn't a series of random events or fortunate escapes. It was a carefully woven testament to a force far greater than their comprehension. Psalm 37:23 declares, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him." With every moment they tried to dissect, the undeniable became clearer. You're not merely enduring the chaos of this world, you're transcending it. Have you noticed how your presence alone disrupts the assumptions of those who seek to diminish you? Their guilt began as a whisper, a faint discomfort they tried to ignore. But as they delved deeper, it grew louder until it became an undeniable roar in their minds. What they once approached as a routine job turned into a confrontation with their own inadequacies. The strength they envied from afar now stood before them, tangible and unshakable, embodied in your life. You weren't scrambling for control, tethered to the chaos that defined their existence. Do you recognize this clarity within yourself, chosen one? The unshakable peace that comes from walking in divine purpose? You moved through storms with clarity, as if guided by an unbreakable connection to something eternal. Can you imagine how disorienting it must have been for them to find their plans unraveling, not by force, but by the undeniable truth of who you are? That clarity terrified them as much as it humbled them. They saw in you what they had longed for their entire lives, but could never attain: purpose, resilience, and unwavering connection to the divine. But guilt was only the beginning. What started as guilt evolved into awe, then into respect, and finally into reverence. The very mission they had accepted to diminish you became a lesson they were unprepared to learn. Without realizing it, they stopped investigating you and began learning from you. You embodied everything they had spent their lives chasing but had never grasped: clarity, resilience, and unshaken purpose. They saw in you what they had been missing: a life not defined by chaos or struggle, but by alignment with something far greater. Philippians 4:7 reminds us, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." That peace was evident in you, a calm in the storm they couldn't comprehend. Their emotions shifted. They no longer resented your strength, they craved it. They no longer doubted your connection to the divine, they envied it. Your very existence exposed their smallness, not through humiliation or condemnation, but simply by being who you are. Like Daniel in the lion's den, your unshaken trust in God stood as a beacon, silencing their judgments and leaving them to confront their own limitations. How often have you noticed that your greatest strength isn't in fighting back, but in standing firm in the truth of who you are? By the end, do you know what? Their task felt meaningless. They realized their investigation wasn't just misguided. It was a trespass on sacred ground. To pry into your life was to step into a narrative far beyond their control. Every moment they spent dissecting your existence only magnified the divine orchestration behind it. Their motives, once sharp and driven by envy, dulled in the face of your authenticity. Their goal wasn't just unachievable, it was misguided from the start. Chosen one, reflect on this. The strength you carry, the clarity that guides you, and the peace you exude are not just personal qualities. They are reflections of the God who protects you, who has called you, and who walks with you. Isaiah 41:10 declares, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This is the foundation of your resilience, and it's what leaves others in awe. Let this truth settle in your heart. You are untouchable, not because of your own strength, but because of the strength of the one who goes before you. Their task was doomed, not because you resisted, but because you stood firmly in your purpose. And in the end, they weren't just humbled, they were changed. Walk boldly in this knowledge, chosen one. Your life is a testament to divine grace, and no scheme, no scrutiny can ever diminish that. Chosen ones, reflect on this profound truth. By the end, their task was not a failure, but a revelation. They didn't leave with answers about you. They left with conviction about themselves. What began as an effort to break you turned into an awakening they never expected. Have you noticed how often those who seek to tear you down find themselves transformed in the process? They walked away, not with the triumph they had envisioned, but with a newfound understanding of what it truly means to live. You didn't just earn their respect, you reshaped their perspective. The investigation was never about you. It was a mirror turned toward them. With every detail they examined, every truth they uncovered, their certainty unraveled. They weren't exposing you, they were exposing themselves. Each step into your life revealed a glaring contrast. Your strength against their fragility, your clarity against their confusion. Their task, once fueled by arrogance, became a test of their own character, a test they were failing. Doesn't this echo the wisdom of Proverbs 11:3? The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Your resilience wasn't born of mere circumstances, it was forged in something far deeper. They couldn't define it, let alone diminish it. As they traced your path, they were forced to confront the cracks in their own foundation. How could they, so bound by fear and doubt, challenge someone who seemed untethered to the chaos of the world? Do you see how your faith and purpose stand as a stark contrast to the instability of those who seek to undermine you? Their assignment became less an inquiry into your life and more an unwelcome examination of their own. Every choice you made reflected their limitations. Every shadow you had already faced and conquered exposed the fears they carried. What they envied most wasn't just your strength, it was the meaning that infused every action you took. While they drifted aimlessly, chasing validation and purpose, your life radiated a confidence they had never known. Your existence wasn't about survival, it was about intention. You didn't just overcome, you transformed. How does it feel, chosen one, to know that even your smallest decisions carry the weight of divine purpose? This realization hollowed them out, leaving them yearning for something they didn't understand. They no longer sought to expose you, they wanted to understand you. Their assignment became their awakening. You didn't just change their perception of who you are, you shattered their understanding of themselves. Your life forced them to confront their own fears, inadequacies, and longing for the kind of meaning you embody with every breath. Like Paul on the road to Damascus, Acts 9:3-6, their path turned into a confrontation with truth, leaving them humbled and forever changed. Can you see how God uses even those sent against you as instruments of his greater plan? Meanwhile, those who had hired them sat with quiet confidence, waiting for what they believed would be your undoing. They anticipated a report filled with your flaws, your failures, the evidence they needed to justify their schemes. But as the investigation unfolded, the tide began to shift. The story wasn't about you, not about weaknesses or mistakes, but about them, their lies, their manipulations, their calculated attempts to destroy you were dragged into the light. Luke 12:3 reminds us, "What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight, and what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the roofs." The investigator didn't just deliver facts, they delivered justice. What was intended to harm you became a testament to your integrity. Their motives, steeped in envy and deceit, were exposed for all to see. And in the end, their efforts to destroy you only amplified your truth. Doesn't this remind you of Isaiah 54:17? "No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you." Their schemes crumbled, their certainty dissolved, and their task became a revelation of divine justice. Chosen one, let this be a reminder of who you are. Your life isn't just a testimony to resilience, it's a reflection of divine grace. Every challenge, every betrayal, every attempt to undermine you has been turned into a stage for God's glory. Those sent to harm you walked away humbled, transformed by the truth they couldn't deny. And those who sought your downfall now stand exposed, their schemes unraveled before the light of truth. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that your steps are guided by the one who sees all, knows all, and protects all. Let their failures serve as a reminder of your unshakable purpose. You are not merely surviving their plans, you are thriving in spite of them. Are you ready to embrace this truth and continue walking boldly in the destiny God has set before you? Chosen ones, consider this deeply. What began as a calculated mission to discredit you unraveled into a revelation of the very forces that sought to harm you. The plans they meticulously crafted in secret were dismantled piece by piece. Not by your hand, but by the truth that refused to be silenced. Have you ever noticed how lies collapse under the weight of undeniable truth? The whispers they spread, the shadows they cast, became weapons turned against them, exposing their malice for all to see. The ones who sought your downfall now teetered on the edge of their own ruin, unable to defend themselves against the light that burned through their deceit. This wasn't just a shift in perspective, it was a divine reversal. The very stage they constructed for your humiliation became the platform for their downfall. Every word they spoke, every document they unveiled, failed to condemn you and instead revealed their desperation. Doesn't this remind you of Psalm 7:15-16? Whoever digs a hole and scoops it out falls into the pit they have made. The trouble they cause recoils on them. Their violence comes down on their own heads. They underestimated you, overestimated their control, and misjudged the power of truth. They thought their lies could bury you, but instead they buried themselves in the overwhelming light of what cannot be denied. As the investigation reached its conclusion, the weight of justice was undeniable. The very ones who conspired against you were left scrambling, their masks ripped away. And you stood untouched, unshaken, a living testament to this eternal promise. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Have you felt this protection in your life, chosen one? The way every attack against you only seems to strengthen your position. The tables weren't just turned, they were obliterated, leaving nothing but the undeniable truth of your strength and their disgrace. Throughout history, greatness has often been hidden in plain sight, concealed beneath layers of the ordinary until the appointed moment of revelation. Think of Moses, raised in Pharaoh's household as an adopted son, dismissed as just another child. But within him burned the destiny of a liberator, a chosen leader for God's people. His connection to the divine was hidden, misunderstood, until the moment came for him to lead Israel out of Egypt. Or consider David, overlooked by his own family as a shepherd boy, yet chosen by God to defeat Goliath and ascend to kingship. Do you see how your own journey mirrors this pattern, with strength and purpose concealed until the right moment? Even outside Scripture, stories echo this truth. Think of King Arthur, dismissed as a commoner, his sovereignty hidden until he pulled the sword from the stone, revealing what had always been within him. These aren't just tales, they're reflections of a deeper truth. The world often underestimates what is hidden, what is growing in silence, until the appointed time of revelation. Could it be that the delays in your journey, the moments when you were underestimated, were preparing you for this exact moment? Your story is no different. The investigators, blinded by their own arrogance, sought to uncover flaws and weaknesses, unaware that they were stepping into a narrative far beyond their control. They failed to see the depth of your gifts, the light concealed within you. Like Moses in exile or Arthur in obscurity, your greatness wasn't meant to be seen by all until the precise moment it was destined to shine. Their mission wasn't merely futile, it was preordained to expose their shortcomings, not yours. Chosen one, reflect on this. Their plans were never going to succeed because they were built on deceit, and deceit cannot stand against divine truth. What they intended for harm became the very tool God used to glorify his purpose for your life. Like Joseph told his brothers in Genesis 50:20, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." The very forces that rose against you were unknowingly part of God's plan to reveal the strength, resilience, and divine favor within you. So now, are you ready to stand firm in this truth? You are chosen, protected, and destined for greatness. The light within you cannot be hidden, and no weapon, no scheme, no whisper of deceit can extinguish it. Their failure was not just inevitable, it was ordained. The same stage they built for your humiliation now amplifies your triumph. Are you ready to walk boldly in the confidence that no attack against you can stand? Let their downfall serve as a reminder of the unshakable truth of your calling. Your time of revelation has come, and no force on earth can stand in its way. Chosen ones, let this settle in your heart. The investigator became an unwitting witness, not to what they expected, but to a power they couldn't rationalize. What they thought was ordinary unraveled into something extraordinary, something beyond their comprehension. Have you noticed how often your true essence remains hidden until the exact moment it's meant to be revealed? This concealment isn't a sign of weakness, it's divine strategy. The greatest forces always move in silence until the moment of revelation. Your gifts, your purpose, were shielded not because they were lesser, but because they were greater. And when the truth finally emerged, it did so with the weight of inevitability. Like Moses standing before the Red Sea, or Arthur claiming Excalibur, your unmasking didn't just reveal you, It redefined the entire narrative. How does it feel to know that your story, once underestimated, is now the story that transforms others? They weren't prepared for what they uncovered, because greatness, by design, remains hidden until it cannot be denied. You are undeniable. Your presence, your gifts, your very essence, they speak louder than any skeptic's words or the whispers of doubt from those who cannot fathom your light. You don't need to prove anything. Your very existence is the evidence. Every skeptic, every whisper of dissent falls silent in the face of what cannot be explained or contained. Psalm 118:22 reminds us, "The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone." You are that cornerstone, unexpected, overlooked, and now foundational. Those who seek to undermine you inevitably find themselves confronted by a power they can neither challenge nor ignore. Your spiritual force is profound. It shifts the very atmosphere around you, leaving those who cross your path unable to walk away unchanged. Have you noticed how even those who doubt you often leave with something new stirring in their spirit? The skeptics, the ones who come with the intent to discredit or diminish you, become witnesses. They may not admit it aloud, but in their hearts they know. There is something about you, something unshakable, something their limited perspective cannot define. It's not just what you do, it's who you are. You are a testament to the divine, a living, breathing reminder that a power greater than human intent is at work. Stop questioning your worth. Stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Your gifts were given to you for a reason, and that reason is far bigger than the fear or envy of others. You are here to leave an impact, to touch lives, to reveal truths, even when those truths make others uncomfortable. Do you see now that your purpose isn't tied to their understanding, but to God's plan? This is not arrogance. It's alignment. When you walk unapologetically in your purpose, you don't just live, you transform the spaces you occupy. Let those who doubt you doubt. Let those who misunderstand you misunderstand. None of that changes the truth of who you are. Like Jesus, who was doubted, mocked, and misunderstood, your purpose isn't diminished by their disbelief. John 1:5 reminds us, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." That is your truth. You don't need to explain yourself to the world. The world needs you to be yourself, fully and powerfully. Because when you do, you become a force no one can deny. The investigator, once so assured of their task, walked away in silence, their purpose unraveled, their certainty shattered. Have you noticed how those who challenge you often leave carrying the weight of a deeper realization? Their findings weren't just about you, they were about a reality they never knew existed. What began as an assignment to dissect you turned into an encounter with the divine presence reflected in your life. As they stepped away, leaving the fragments of their assignment behind, one undeniable truth settled over them, pressing on their minds like a revelation. You are not of this world. That is your power. John 17:16 reminds us, "They are not of the world, even as I am not of it." Your existence transcends the ordinary. Your strength, your resilience, your clarity, they all point to something eternal, something greater than anything they could have imagined. Chosen one, embrace this truth. You were never meant to fit into their frameworks, to conform to their expectations. Your gifts were hidden until the appointed time, and now that time has come. Stand tall, knowing that your presence alone transforms the narrative. Walk unapologetically in your purpose, for the world doesn't need you to dim your light. It needs you to shine brighter than ever before. Chosen ones, this is your moment. You're not bound by the limitations others try to place on you. Your very presence is a disruption to mediocrity, a challenge to the narratives of those who fear what they cannot control. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to prove yourself. The evidence is already there, in the way others react to you, in the way their perceptions shift when they encounter your energy. Do you see now that your existence alone is a testament to the extraordinary? You move through the world with a force that is unyielding, undeniable, and unforgettable, leaving an imprint that lingers long after you've gone. Now it's your turn to embrace that truth. Your story matters. It's not just for you. It's for the lives you touch, for those who cross your path and are forever impacted. Share it. Let the world see how you have stood unshaken, how your gifts have transformed not just your own life, but the lives of those around you. Your voice is powerful, not just as a reflection of your strength, but as a catalyst for others to awaken to their own. Speak boldly, and let the ripple effect begin. As you walk forward in your purpose, may God bless you abundantly. May His light continue to guide your steps, His strength uphold you, and His peace surround you in every moment. May you rise each day with clarity, courage, and conviction, knowing that you are deeply loved, divinely protected, and purposefully created. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn His face toward you and give you peace. Thank you for being here, for walking this journey, and for standing tall in your purpose. Your presence here is no accident. It's a divine appointment. If these words resonated with you, if they reminded you of the power you carry and the impact you have, take a moment to share them. Like this message, share it with others, and let it reach those who need to hear it most. Your voice, your story, and your light are part of a greater movement, a movement that starts with you. We are deeply grateful for your time, your energy, and your commitment to becoming the person you were destined to be. You are chosen, you are powerful, you are unstoppable. Thank you for being part of this journey. May blessings and peace go with you as you continue to shine, share, and transform the world around you.